Hi, I'm Shannon Belcher.
And I'm Emma Jones.
This edition of Blue Jay Journal TV is going to be a little longer than our usual 10 minutes.
So let's take a look at what's coming up.
Poison control calls and emergency room visits have skyrocketed in the past few years thanks to synthetic marijuana, also known as K2 or spice.
One local teen will share his life-saving tip with us.
And we'll meet one Washington high school student who is giving back to others in a big way.
Those stories and more are coming up.
Blue Jay Journal TV starts right now. Some people think that K2 is a mountain and that spice is just something to add to your cooking. But the truth is, these terms are used for synthetic marijuana. Several teens have found themselves in dangerous situations due to K2 and spice. Let's learn more in our top story.
Spice, K2, or synthetic marijuana. This designer drug can be found in gas stations and smoke shops across the country. With its dirt cheap price and availability, teens are getting a hold of it.
I was just looking for something fun to do, I guess, and we couldn't find any marijuana.
According to spiceaddiction.org, synthetic marijuana is coated with over 700 research chemicals, and each company uses different ones. Users never know how it will affect them.
I started feeling really weird. My head got all heavy and I sounded like I was talking in a really deep voice. My friend was trying to talk to me and I couldn't really understand what she was saying.
With varying side effects, some experiences are more dangerous than others.
Within 5 seconds, I had apparently blacked out and I fell on the ground. I was laying on the ground for, I guess, what seemed like forever. I was just like scared out of my mind because I had no idea what was going on. I feel like I came back, I had thrown up a few times, and then I was like sick for like the next day and a half.
Many teens turn to synthetic marijuana because they believe it is a safe alternative to smoking marijuana itself.
Everyone thinks it's better because it's not normal weed. It's just a bunch of stuff put together, like you don't actually know what it is. It could be anything.
The misconception that synthetic marijuana is safe has led to some incredibly unsafe situations for some teens.
One night I was at work and my friend texted me and she was freaking out and I didn't really understand why. Later that night I found out that she'd been arrested because she was at her friend's house and she smoked K2. She really didn't know what was going on. And she was like running down the block and she showed up at some random guy's house. She thought it was her dad's house and she was like knocking on the door and freaking out, and so they called the cops.
Those who have experienced the side effects of synthetic marijuana have advice for those who may be considering trying it.
Don't try it because you can end up hospitalized and it's very bad. Like, worse things could happen than what happened to me.
Don't try it, it's not worth like doing it. There's better things to do.
For Blue Jay Journal TV, I am Jade Reether reporting.
Self-acceptance is not easy. All too often, people of all ages pick apart their flaws instead of embracing who they are. Molly Eckelkamp has the story.
It's hard when you have people shaming both boys and girls for, you have to look this certain way.
Media completely shapes our perceptions of ourselves.
The media is always calling out the bad of other people, making people think that I just can't accept myself because I will never live up to those beauty standards.
To say that the media affects our self-esteem and body image is an understatement. Only 5% of women in the U.S. actually fit the current body type portrayed in advertising today. The pressure to fit a certain stereotype of what a perfect person is, well, it's not limited to just women.
Growing up, you're told, guys can't cry. You have to be tough. Only girls can be the emotional ones.
Boys are socialized from a very young age to feel strong, to feel powerful, to feel a lot of pride. And girls are socialized to feel much weaker.
I really just don't hear a lot about males. I don't feel like there's a lot of emphasis on self-love for them.
Self-acceptance is a big part of growing up, but considering all the mixed signals from the media about how we should look and act, it's difficult.
To say, I made it through this and I am worth it and I'm worth so much more than what I thought I was worth. that really was what helped me identify like myself.
Self-acceptance to me is when you can look at yourself and just feel okay with who you are.
To me, self-acceptance means when you reach a point in your life where you get to know something new about yourself or come to understand something about yourself, and you're okay with it.
Being okay with who you are isn't always easy, but with maturity and time, it comes more naturally.
Take a deep breath, be patient. That's how you get to know yourself.
For Blue Jay Journal TV, I am Molly Eckelkamp reporting.
Hey, let me borrow your phone.
What the Did you crack it? What
When did they raise the prices?
So, how was that math test?
It was really hard.
You weren't raised in a barn. Clean up your language.
J&W Cycles has been a Washington tradition for many decades. Emma Jones is going to introduce us to the men who founded this company.
Well, that's something that my brother and I had talked about ever since we started riding back when we were teenagers.
Bob and Jim Jones began turning their dream into a reality in 1977.
We always talked about having our own store.
Was this going to be a part-time thing? I was going to keep teaching school.
Little did Bob know that his small part-time business would turn into something big.
By 1981, ATVs became very popular, and suddenly the motorcycle industry became a full-time business. People came in to buy things that we sold because they were wanting to have a good time and have fun as well.
The business also made history by adding a brand new event at the Washington Town and Country Fair.
We pitched the idea of doing a motocross back in 1995.
I was pretty much in charge of that for 13 years, whatever. 20 years. Has it been that long?
Achieving all of this success throughout the years was not easy for the Jones brothers.
Our dad was a retired master sergeant from the Army. We lived in trailer parks. So we came from a very, very lower class background. America is one of the few countries in the world where somebody can have a dream, and if you work hard enough, you can realize that dream. And Jimmy and I did that. We reached a decision last year that the business had gotten so big. We were tired. We were ready to turn the business over to somebody that could take it forward. It was difficult for us because we had been in business for 38 and a half years. It was our baby.
You know, all in all, it's been great, really.
Both Jim and Bob have advice for anyone wanting to start their own business.
Have a passion for it and don't go into it thinking that the only thing you want to do is make money.
Be prepared to invest 100% in everything that you're doing. It's not easy, but it can still be done.
J&W Cycles is a prime example of taking a childhood passion and turning it into a lifetime achievement. This is Emma Jones reporting for Blue Jay Journal TV. We are told over and over that seatbelts save lives, yet people still do not buckle up. Shannon Belcher recently sat down with a Washington High School student who knows firsthand how important it is to wear a seatbelt.
55% of car crashes resulting in death could have been prevented by simply wearing a seatbelt.
Somebody could have taken just 2 seconds and strapped a seatbelt on, and that's what could have saved their lives. It does break your heart.
Seatbelts are meant to kind of lessen the severity of the accident.
One Washington high school teen has faced this situation firsthand.
I was driving, it was later in the night, and my right tire went over and I tried to correct, and I overcorrected into a truck.
Parker's accident occurred in November of 2015 while he drove from Labadie to Washington.
I broke my hips, and that was due to a seatbelt break of just the pressure being on that. Of course it saved my life because it could have been far worse.
Would you rather be injured and be able to recover, or the other outcome?
Because it's one of those things where you think you have control over your life and nothing bad will happen, yet something like that happens.
Parker often takes the time to think about what the outcome could have been if he didn't take the steps to ensure his safety.
I would have been dead. There's no doubt about that. I would have more than likely went to the windshield.
Make sure to just take a couple seconds, click the seatbelt on, and you never know, it could save your life.
My advice is first to be safe. Always wear your seatbelt. You're jeopardizing other people's lives, both physically and mentally.
Wearing a seatbelt is more than statistical data. It can be the one act that saves your life. Take the 2 seconds to put on your seatbelt. For Blue Jay Journal TV, I am Shannon Belcher, reporting. One Washington high school sophomore believes that when we help others, it makes our lives better. Lauren Linson has the story.
My freshman year, I was having like a really bad year, and I just wanted to do something good because my whole year was just rough, so I wanted something really good to do.
Although Melissa Nyer was going through hard times, she managed to find happiness in one unique way.
I make cards, handmade cards for the Children's Hospital. It makes me feel really good to know that I'm like touching all the kids' lives, and I just want them to feel better. Like I feel bad that they're in the hospital and sick.
Card making may seem time-consuming, but Melissa finds it beneficial.
When I did it the first time, and it just made me like really happy that I was doing it, so I just kept doing it. I've done it last year once, and I've done it twice this year, so I just want to keep doing it throughout high school.
Melissa has some advice for anyone wanting to make a difference.
When you get the idea, follow through with it, because it comes out really good, like it has a really good outcome.
If you want to learn more about Melissa Nyer's hobby, you can contact her at her school email or talk to WHS counselor Marianne Brigham. I am Lauren Munson reporting.
Before we end the show, I'd like to thank Shannon Belcher for being on the Blue Jay Journal TV staff for the past 3 years.
Thanks, Emma. That's right, I've been in Blue Jay Journal TV since I was a sophomore, and this is my last time hosting a show.
Well, just because you'll be gone doesn't mean that Blue Jay Journal TV stops there. Visit our website at www.bluejayjournal.com.
For one last time, I am Shannon Belcher, signing off for Blue Jay Journal TV, along with Emma Jones, who will be here next year. Thanks for watching.